Hey, it's your boy Easy, and on today's episode of Easy Opens, we're going to be taking a look at the Neca Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Archie Adventures Cryin Houn figure. Cryin Houn first appeared in Archie's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures number 7 from December of 1989. And he's an anthropomorphic alien dog who appears prominently on the cover and is an intergalactic wrestler working for Stump and Sling on Stump Asteroid. He has 4 arms, a habit for repeating his name, and also goes by the alias El Mysterio. As per usual, Neca does a fantastic job with these box arts, and especially their Archie Adventure series. But we're not here to talk about that, so let's go ahead and get this figure free from its plastic prison and see what we think about Cryin Houn. Fresh out the box, this figure is massive. He just takes up a lot of real estate, and I dig it so much. He looks and feels fantastic. He has some heft to him. It's just, you feel like you're getting your money's worth. And he's almost larger than life, which is funny because, I mean, that's how he is in the books too. But like, there's just something about his just bright pink outfit, and then his forearms like are just always great. Like, I'm a big fan of characters who have an extra set of arms. I don't know why. It's just there's something cool. I guess it's probably appealing to the multitasker in me that I'm like, well, if I had another set of arms, then I could get twice as much stuff done. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. However, I do believe that it adds so much coolness to this character, which he probably would have been a cool character if he just had the one set of arms. But you know what? Double your pleasure, double your fun. You know what the old commercials, as the old adage says, I guess. Somebody wise probably said that once. But having said all that, he looks so good and has so much of a character in his face. Like, his face just has so much of a liveliness to it that is just really fun. And I don't know, I really dig the way that this was designed. The paint is great. The outfit is really cool. It's got some subtle details in the wrinkles and everything, but overall this is a pretty smooth character. And I almost said that that's the usual case for the Adventure series, but actually upon like double checking that, I'm looking at all the other Adventures characters and I'm like, no, they're very textured and scaled or hairy or whatever you want to call it. So the fact that he's this smooth is pretty interesting, but it's probably something to do with the fact that he's a wrestler and he probably needs to be smooth so that he can like slip and slide everywhere. But then again, having said that, the Leatherhead wrestler figure that we've got actually has scales, but I don't think he could help that. So I wonder if this is more of a Cryin Houn decided to be a little bit more smooth. But I don't know, you can see a little bit of hair details in the paint on the shoulder parts especially, and on the back a little bit too. But yeah, there's not a lot of actual sculpted detail outside of his muscles and some of the folds that are in his outfit as well as his shoelaces. But other than that, that's pretty much it. He also just looks like he should be a part of the Heart Foundation for some reason. I mean, it's absolutely probably entirely due to the color and the outfit in general. He also is giving a little bit of the Cookie Crisp characters, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like the guys that would always try to steal the Cookie Crisp and get arrested, if my memory recalls correctly. But regardless of all that, he looks fantastic. Looks like he jumped right off the page into my hands, and I couldn't be happier. Although, having said that, unfortunately, Cryin Houn only comes with 10 hands. And that's it. Alright, so now let's take a look at the articulation that you're going to get out of Cryin Houn, starting with the head. He has 360 at the neck. He can look up a little bit, but his hair does kind of keep him from looking up too much, but you can definitely get some range up there. He can't look down very much because his oversized chin kind of keeps him from doing that, so it's kind of just straight on. And then there's some side-to-side action there in the neck, which gives it more than you'd think, but, you know, it's up there, so it's whatever. Then moving on to the shoulders, which this is for the same for all 4 arms that he's got. You've got 360 at the shoulders as well as a joint there, so you can get some up and down action. You got a swivel at the forearm elbow area as well as a joint that you can get some motion going on there. And then you've got 360 at the wrist, as well as a joint to get some wrist action going there. Moving to the chest, his leotard, I guess that's what you call this, does impede the motion that you're going to be able to get. It's a little loose still. I mean, it fits fine and it looks great, but it's got enough give so you can turn him just a little bit and it still kind of looks decent. However, it does impede him from doing any other extraneous moves in that area. But he's got motion there, so you can definitely get him to move there. But it's definitely going to be impeded by his outfit. Moving on down to the legs, he can kind of get a little bit of a stretch going on, a split. I mean, and got double jointed elbows. What did I say? Elbows. I meant knees. And he's got the thigh swivel, I should say, because it's on a joint in there. So he's got that double jointed knees, and then he's got an ankle rocker. And if I'm not mistaken, that is all the articulation that you're going to get out of Cryin Houn. According to Turtlepedia, Cryin Houn is listed as 7 foot 16 inches. And that's also listed multiple other places on the internet. So I'm not sure if that's like an error or what, but that's what it is. And he weighs around 275 pounds, which seems a little low, but what do I know? I do know that this figure, though, stands at 7¼ inches tall and weighs 1 pound. So now let's see how he measures up to some other figures you might have in your collection. Here he is with the SH Figuarts Leonardo and the Neca 1987 animated series Trench Coat Donatello. Here he is with the Neca Mirage Comics colored bandana knockoff Donatello and the Neca Return to New York Michelangelo. Here he is with the Neca 1987 animated series Rocksteady and Bebop. Here he is with the Neca Archie Adventures comic series Man Ray and Leatherhead. Here he is with SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Geats and Hasbro's Fortnite Doggo. Here he is with NECA's Alf and Jada Toys Mega Man. Here he is with Marvel Legends Thing and Jada Toys Dalsim. Here he is with Masters of the Universe Classics Web Store and Figma's Samus. And here he is with some other four-armed friends, Storm Collectibles Goro and Jakks Pacific's Machamp. The Archie Adventures Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics are among one of my favorite versions of the Turtles. Once it gets past the retelling of the animated series, which I think is like 5 issues, it starts doing its own thing and it builds its own world and universe, and it is delightful. And I am a huge fan of it. And when they introduced the Stump Intergalactic Wrestling, like that just opened my mind to like the possibilities are endless. Like this is amazing. And they introduced us to some cool characters and reintroduced us to some that we already were familiar with, like Leatherhead and Ace Duck. But among the new characters that we got was Cryin Houn. There's just something about a 4-armed character that I just really dig. I don't know why. I guess it's because like, I don't know, I guess with 4 arms or 4 hands, you know, you can do twice as many things as you could with just 2. And so that appeals to my addiction to productivity. And so I don't know, but I do know that like probably the first instance of me seeing someone with like 4 arms like this had to have probably been like Goro, I think. Because I can't think of a He-Man character that had 4 arms like this, but I could be mistaken. I just can't think of it right now. But nevertheless, that just always looks cool. And then in the X-Men, you had Spiral, but she had like 6 arms. So, you know, whatever. But like still, just the extra arms. There's something about that that's really cool. And Cryin Houn just totally leans into that coolness with his design. Now, he looks fantastic. I think NECA did an amazing job bringing him from the page to plastic, and he's got the pink leotard that definitely reminds me of like Bret Hart and Owen Hart. All of that together just looks really neat and fun, and I think that he just is a really neat addition to this collection, and I'm excited to see what else NECA is going to do and bring out from this line that has a ton of really cool character designs and stuff. One thing that I am a little, not really like disappointed in, but just am kind of curious as to why they gave him a more of a flat skin sculpt, I guess, which is a weird phrase to say. But like all the other characters from this line have textured fur on their skin pretty much. And he is smooth as can be. Now, I wonder if that could be, this might be getting a little metatextual, but like I wonder if that is because he wants to be more smooth to be in the wrestling ring. Like that maybe he shaves all the parts of his body that we can see as a means to better perform in the ring. I don't know. I might just be adding that on there. And if they address this in the comic, it's been a minute since I've read it, but if they address this in the comics, definitely let me know in the comments. But I don't know. I like thinking that maybe that's why. Now you can see some lines in his muscles that indicate that there is some fur there, or some hair, I guess, but it's nothing like how Jaguar or Dreadmon look. And so I'm very interested as to why that they went that option. I like the way that it looks. I think it looks fine, but I'm curious if they tried it and it just looked really odd and just decided to just go with more of a flat look. But regardless of all that, he looks fantastic. He feels fantastic. He's got the heft, and he looks amazing with the other turtles from the Archie line, as well as some of the other ones from the 87 animated series line. He kind of can go with those as well. They kind of work together for the most part, but he's not necessarily out of place in the 87 line, but he definitely looks at home with the Archie Adventures line, and that's fantastic. And I'm just so excited that they're continuing with this line, and I hope that they continue to continue with it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, now the only complaint I really have is that it would have been nice if he would have come with some extra accessories, but I don't really know what it could be. I mean, he comes with more hands, which is cool and always welcome, but like, I don't know, maybe some wrestling ring things. I don't know. I don't think they really use anything in those scenes that he's in as far as like giving them fodder to make accessories for, but I don't know. But they do make up for it a little bit because his size is so big, so he feels like a little bit more of a deluxe character, or figure I should say, and so that kind of does make up for it. But nevertheless, if you're a fan of wrestling figures, just be that based on real wrestling figure characters and then fictional ones, he will go great on either shelf, I'm sure. I mean, it won't be long before we have the WWE putting four-armed characters in there. I mean, who knows with AI? There's no telling. And so, yeah, if you're a fan of anthropomorphic dogs, then yeah, he's going to definitely fit that bill and could go on that shelf. If you're a fan of characters in pink spandex, then yeah, he'll definitely fit right in there on that shelf. And then if you're a fan of four-armed characters like myself, then you will not be disappointed with Cryin Houn. All right, well, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button. If you want to see more from me, hit subscribe and let me know in the comments all your thoughts on Cryin Houn. And if you want to hear me talk about the Ninja Turtles more, be sure to check out my podcast, Turtle Soup Show, on YouTube here. We've got a bunch of episodes up, and I believe we are just now starting to try to get into the 2000s. We're making sure we got everything done with the 90s as best we can, and we're about to make our way chronologically through the 2000s now. And so we've already covered all of the Mirage stuff and the Archie stuff. And so if you want to hear me talk more about all that, be sure to check out our older episodes. And yeah, until then, else time.